What's going on, everyone, and welcome to the Trail Theory Podcast. I'm Brian.
I'm Alex.
I'm Austin.
And I'm Pfeiffer.
Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the Trail Theory Podcast.
Here we are.
What's
going on?
I don't know. What are you doing?
I don't know. What do you want to talk about?
I don't really know.
Are we doing something anytime
I'm going to sit back and just listen to you guys.
Next week, we're going on a trip.
Well, where are we going?
Well, we're going to Wyoming.
What?
You guys are corny.
We're taking a big iron or
and then
a big bird in the sky all the way. Oh, this is going to be our first
bird
trip
in the sky.
This is going to be our first plane ride.
The
I'm
metal
a rocket
bird.
man.
A metal bird.
The metal bird.
We are going to Wyoming.
Forget
we're going
the
to
metal
go.
tent, the metal
The
bird.
Metal bird.
That's our new band name, Metal Bird.
We're going to do
Metal
the
Bird.
Cirque of the Towers over in the Wind River Range in Wyoming.
I'm so excited.
And this episode, we're going to talk a little bit about some of the prep that we've been doing and talk about maybe why we chose to do this one.
Yeah.
Maybe even what some of the other ones we considered were.
I don't know if I remember.
I've got some of those on here that we can look up. But just kind of things that we're anticipating for the trip. If we've brought any new gear, new whatever it might be, I don't know.
Actually, you know what? I haven't.
No.
I might in the next. Well, I keep saying that.
There's time.
There's time.
There's a week.
There's going to be
There's
an
a week.
REI that we have to stop at when we get into Wyoming.
We do have
so maybe
to get
I
to an REI.
Maybe I just
You
buy
have to get
something
some
there.
gear. Yeah.
Yep.
Well, I can
so we're just
dangerous.
also preface this trip by saying, once again, unfortunately, I'm not gonna be going.
This one was a super big bummer for me.
Okay, yeah.
I'm really sorry.
This is the big one. I had planned on it the entire time, but unfortunately, I had to take care of something physically, medically, and so it kind of took me out of the running. I had to have abdominal surgery to take care of a hernia.
Ugh.
And I'm basically recovered now.
Yeah.
But the timing just didn't make sense to plan
With
this trip with recovery.
Yeah.
It was basically right at the cusp of if it would make sense for me to go. So, because there is even still risk of,
Didn't want to
anything
re-injure
happen.
yourself
I
or
didn't
something
want to
like that.
re-injure it.
Yeah.
And if this were any other, call it normal trip or whatever, that didn't like we had to book flights, and that's been done for weeks.
Dude, that's the thing.
and
It's
it's
a little
like-
more involvement.
You can't just pull an audible and say, well, I'll tell you 3 days
No,
before.
dude,
But,
you
if,
gotta,
you,
like,
but
Alex-
if you're willing to take an audible, we'll gladly.
I mean,
There
You
are
gotta,
seats. There are seats available.
No,
on the
that's
ride.
fine. You also, I got to figure out time off with work and,
Right.
family care and all that kind of
You had
stuff.
to make-
So
you had to make a decision.
It's a coordination.
I had to make a
nightmare.
decision at a certain time, and when I knew I had to have the surgery, this was the first thing that came to my mind. Literally nothing else, and it was disappointing, but I had to take care of it.
Yeah.
and it made sense for me to do it, and I'm missing out on the trip because of that. But no, I'm excited for you guys, and I'm excited to hear all about it and all your prep.
It's gonna be because that's right. That's the weirdest part is like you haven't been in on the prep stuff.
I
either,
know.
'cause
Yeah.
It's like,
So I don't know anything.
Yeah.
I mean, like I played a part in picking where we
Right.
went.
Yeah.
You
'cause
know, but
that was
now
before.
I didn't get to
I know.
do all the trip planning. So
There's been some of it for
Yeah.
sure.
I'm
I know
sure.
a lot went into. Maybe let's start there. A lot went into. At one point, I know we were wanted like this is our big West trip, so we haven't gone
We've
anywhere.
been talking about doing something out west for like
A while
4
now.
years.
Right. Well, and even from the first year and after we did Dolly and after that first year of trips, I think we knew it's like, okay, at our 5 year, we want to do our big West one's going to be big. It's going to take a lot of coordination. We can't just do that, but let's make that a big thing. Let's do it at 5. Let's do it at whatever.
Yeah.
And so this is that. And a lot of discussion went into like, where are we going to go? Because there's so many.
I will say
so
though,
many options.
I will
places.
say there was a lot of discussion, but like once we landed and once we saw this trail,
It was
none of us really knew this trail going in. I remember,
Yeah.
I think
It wasn't
I
even on my list.
I pulled it up in like just on a video call, I was like, what about this, right?
Yeah.
It wasn't, and we all came with ideas.
Yeah,
and
I had 5 specifically.
It was an awesome
right.
conversation, but we just stumbled on that and I was like, oh shit, this is cool.
Yeah, I mean, out west,
which is a fun thing.
You know, there's so many different places you can go. It's pretty diverse, right? So, like, not to say that like East Coast backpacking is all very similar. A lot of the deciduous forests are in the East Coast.
Yeah.
There's obviously definite differences in a lot of the places, but out west you have desert.
We wanted
You
mountains,
have-
I think.
Yeah,
was
you
the
have
goal.
mountains. You have all this kind of different, options, and so like Brian said, he came with 5 different ones. I
Yeah.
came with a few. We all kind of like just were poking around to see what made the most sense. I remember even like poking down into some trails that were down in like Nevada and
Yeah.
Arizona and things like
'Cause
that.
we were talking about like the red clay stuff.
yeah,
right?
it looked dope, but like
It's hot.
August.
Yes.
Also, like there wasn't a ton of like massive loops to like
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I
coordinate
know
a larger trip.
I think
like
what
that.
ended up being one of the big factors too was like proximity to the airport.
proximity.
That was
yeah.
it.
Because
So-
it was we got to fly in. We have a time frame. We're not out there for 2 weeks.
Right.
Sure,
Right.
That was
it's
the
not
hard
like
part.
adding a day
Right.
or like accidentally being out there longer. We drive home a day late.
Yeah, I think
Right.
any of
Yeah.
the places that we saw in Arizona, even if like from Phoenix, they would have been hours away. Hours.
It's a day. It's not
You're adding another
It's
day.
another day of travel once you get there before you
Right.
actually start your trip, and that's on the way back too. So that was a big piece.
I mean, we did. So I guess we're talking about like kind of the early on stages. We did plan travel days, so we didn't want to get onto the trail and then immediately have to do like 6 or 8 miles.
Yeah, we didn't want to.
Right.
We didn't want to put the pressure on the days where we knew we were traveling.
And then on the reverse side, on the way back, we didn't want to have to come off the trail doing
catch a flight.
6 miles
And then go
bust
to a-
ass,
yeah.
get to the car, have a delay. Maybe there's a river crossing we can't go,
Right,
and then
right.
have to get to the airport at a certain time to catch a flight.
Yeah. Right.
So we baked in travel days on the front and back end of the trip.
Yeah.
That are just strictly get it to the airport. Or from airport to the trailhead, or from the trailhead to the airport.
so that translated to it's a Wednesday
we-
through Sunday trip, but
Right.
hiking is Thursday through Saturday. So we have
Right.
2 nights on trail.
2 nights,
right?
3 full days.
Yeah. So that's but yeah, I know so proximity to the airport was a big piece, but we landed
was.
here, and same thing that Alex said. Once that one came up, I think I was pretty much sold. Like after I saw the first couple pictures, and
it
we
was-
talked for another
the
like
range
hour.
of photos
on-
just felt like okay.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
really started to kind of solidify the drive.
Right.
It started to just check the boxes of like
'Cause we talked about Tetons.
logistically easy.
Yeah.
We did talk about doing the Tetons.
Right.
And I can't remember exactly. I think there was a few people that were really nervous about grizzly bears.
and it was further
in
away.
our group. It's not technically further away. It's
No, I thought it was.
It's,
We're
it's a little,
just southeast of the
we're
Tetons now.
we're about 3 hours or 3.5 hours south of the Tetons, I
Yeah.
think. And like really, it would have been closer from the airport to go to the Tetons. But I think the Tetons were also a little bit longer. So like the Grand Teton Loop, that at least on All Trail
remember
has,
that, yeah.
it's 35.4 miles.
Right, because
Yeah.
mileage was it's like we have
That's too much.
When you have a definite amount of time,
Yeah.
that extra mileage can be
Yeah.
tough.
The Cirque of
we had
Towers.
to be
and we knew it was going to be different for
Conservative.
us as a group where
Right.
we didn't want to do 35 miles and then get out there day one and like when we did the Adirondacks, it was like, oh shit,
Right.
Right.
we're moving at a different pace than we expected to ever go. It's like, I mean, we
I
baked
think
in some time for adversity.
I think we will. And now this trip doesn't have a ton of elevation gain. There's 3,848 feet of elevation gain. But
starting
we
at 8.
are
the
going to start.
reason why I'm nervous.
We're starting at 9,000 feet.
That's the reason I'm nervous.
Baby.
And
I
so
have never.
your body
I don't
does
think
some
I've
different
been
things,
that.
man.
I'm not. I mean, I've been in place like I've flown places, but I've never really been out west.
You haven't?
I've been to California for like a day. Outside
Well,
of that,
but
I
even
think
then, if you haven't been up,
right. I think the farthest west I've been for any amount of time is like Indiana. It's like I've
Seriously, man?
Indiana.
So
Land.
I think just being, I've just not been in that environment like ever.
That's
and,
crazy.
and at that altitude ever. So
I'm
it's
surprised. I guess in my mind, I just assumed you're Mr. World Traveler, but
Oh, I've been on the other side of the world, but I haven't
Yeah.
been to,
Yeah.
It's
Caught that elevation
You
side.
went everywhere east.
I think you'll be all right.
I think so. It's just going to be interesting.
But we don't know.
Yeah, we'll see.
It'll be different.
It'll be different.
It was a factor that we wanted to consider, though. And, I think we started around 9,000 feet and we hit 11,440 feet.
Yeah.
At our highest peak.
And when we did the episode about Rainier, when you came back, we were talking about it, and you said that at 85, when you
I started feeling at 8,500.
passed up and over that, and you started feeling, I was like, oh shit, we're going to start.
I
we're starting above that.
And not every body, and I mean that in every one or in every single body is the same. So everyone's going to feel the altitude differently.
But we have the benefit of, because that travel day, so we're going to fly in. We're going to drive. We're going to hit REI. We're going to go to the trailhead.
Why do we have to hit REI?
Because bears. That's why. So
and gas.
And also gas.
And gas. So
bears and food.
There's no fire. So you can't have campfires on the trail that we're going to, which makes sense. But you can't fly with, gas canisters. So we got to get...
why not?
They could explode. That's the short answer.
Because safety.
Because death.
There's some comedian that was talking about like going through TSA and he had like a thing of clay, and they were
God.
like, and they're like, sorry, you can't have that.
Yeah.
And they're like, he's like, okay, and they took it and they threw it away, and he's like, wait a minute. What if that was a bomb? It's either a bomb or not a bomb. Can I have my clay back? Like, is this what we're doing? Like, it's either a bomb or it's not a bomb. Can I keep it if it's not a bomb? Like,
it doesn't just turn into one.
It doesn't. Yeah. Anyways, I understand why. I understand why you can't have that.
So gas canisters, and then there is a risk of grizzlies, right? Grizzlies?
There are grizzly bears there. Yes.
So
it's pretty low.
We want to bring bear spray, and we can't.
Going back to
that.
the flying thing.
Yes.
So, are there any like special things you need to do to your pack before you check it?
So I want you to answer this because
I have a lot of thoughts on it.
Because you still have stuff like that in the pack that like maybe like a knife or two.
Yeah.
Right.
You have to check those.
I was very ignorant on this, and my brain was just like, oh, well, pack my bag. And then just hand that to somebody, and that just goes onto the plane. Until you said what you were going to do, which makes way more sense. But I was literally just going to pack everything and then just be like, I'm checking this.
Yeah.
And then that's it.
That's what I would think.
You could do that.
Right. And I feel like people have. That's not insane.
Yeah,
but
I have an idea of what, now that you said that he had a different idea, I think I already know what it is.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Well, what I did for when I went over to Rainier, I have a hard shell suitcase. And I had a lot of stuff. So I had to use my biggest luggage that I had. And I literally had all of my stuff packed in my cubes. In my hyperlight stuff, and I put it in there. I put my bag down flat. I had ice axe that I had to put in there a certain way. I had big boots. I had crampons and all this stuff. So I wanted to make sure everything was safe in that, that thing,
and didn't get damaged
and didn't get beat up. Now, you and I have been talking a little bit about, well, what do we do with the pack? Do you just bring your pack with you or whatever as a carry-on?
Mine's
going
to be my carry-on.
So I've thought about this too in a way. And the only reservation I have with carrying my backpack on, my hyperlight bag, is that if, for whatever reason, I don't get on the plane early enough to be able to put it up in the overhead, they're going to take that. I've got plastic buckles and stuff like that on there that... and I don't mean disrespect to the TSA or to the people that handle the luggage and stuff like that. But, man, I've watched them put stuff in the plane. Yeah. They throw that shit around like... That's crazy, dude.
I think that's also a reason why I wouldn't just check my bag.
I get so nervous.
I agree with that.
So here's, and
I feel like that puts it through more of a ringer than the trip.
This just happened, and so two things. My wife has actually worked for an airline and has done that.
That's right. I forgot about that.
So she would like shuttle the planes back and forth. She would help with the baggage and everything. So that was, it's a long time ago, but that she's seen that and she can speak to that process. But it happened to us. So when we went to Puerto Rico, as we were talking about this in the last episode, but we had a hard shell zipper case, and it was handled so roughly, the zipper busted completely.
They were just
one of those clear
split.
bags.
They were just watching
we
the
got
U.S. versus New Zealand women's rugby in the Olympics, and we're like, I'm going to try something.
So we got it. It came out the carousel, and when we landed,
like a cracked can of biscuits.
The zipper was popped open. Dude, that was it. That's what it was. It was cracked can of biscuits. Our shit was just spilling out the side. I'm like, what's going on? So that would make me nervous of just checking my bag.
Yeah.
I am
couldn't agree more.
The gate check, though, I will say I'm way less nervous about that.
I mean, there's less likely things to happen because there's less time for them to have it through the process.
Here's my thought.
They're taking it from the bridge.
Now that we're hashing it out.
Let's hash it, dude. That's what this is about.
I am 1,000% confident I could get that under my seat. I'm not packing it like I'm packing.
Right.
Yeah, you're not putting that much shit into it.
It's like a backpack, dude.
If you really want to be certain, do the same thing. I mean, you're bringing an extra case, which is annoying, but you could roll it up and put it in a carry-on bag that you typically take on a flight.
Well, I don't think
I usually take a backpack, so I'm just using that as my backpack.
Yeah, I don't think 100%.
Okay, so you aren't going to bring a backpack for like whatever.
I'm going to use that.
You're going to use that.
I was thinking about it out loud. I'm like, oh, what backpack am I going to take? Oh, yeah, I'm going to put a backpack in my hard shell case with nothing in it.
I agree.
It's goofy. And like the side straps on, or like the hip pockets, like those fold fine, dude. Mm-hmm. It would sit under there. I am going to bring like another like just duffel bag, but like
it's just for me. Small. For me, when I was doing it, it was just cleaner. It was easy. I travel a lot for work and stuff like that too.
So much
There's a lot,
yeah.
but I travel a lot for work and stuff like that too. I have a system, so like I don't want to have like a bunch of stuff that I have to like worry about carrying on or getting on the plane or whatever. Typically, when I travel, like I just like to put my stuff, check it, and then I have a backpack, and then I just go to the gate, and that's it. Like I don't have to worry about anything. So
Same.
I think what I'm probably going to do is. I'm probably just going to do that. I'm going to put all my stuff into a hard shell case in my suitcase. I'm going to check that all that stuff, my knives, anything that you wouldn't be able to go through TSA with is going to be in that thing. I might maybe bring in, because I'm going to have like we need clothes and stuff like that. I might bring a carry-on that has some light clothes in there for like the day before and the day after or whatever.
That's about the only thing I'm going to have in my backpack, though.
Yeah.
And here's where I think there's a big difference. So because of how we planned it, and so we have a full travel day.
Right.
So where, yes, we're camping the first night, but at the trailhead. But we'll have a car.
Right.
We can, and then on the night out, we're going back to a hotel, staying there, and then that way the morning of the flight we could be coming from a hotel and not from a trailer, right?
Yeah.
So I think that's a lot different than, some people are going out and literally all they have is the pack. And then they are hitching a ride or they're getting an Uber from the airport going somewhere and then they're off. Like, that's
if you're through hiking, because I've seen people with like backpacks.
You can't carry a suitcase with you.
And also like if you're through hiking, say for a month or two, some of that stuff just buy when you land.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
I'll buy the knife when I get there. I'll buy the air when I get there.
But I'm saying
you could have everything else.
They're not going to pack like this because they're not going to carry a suitcase with them.
Correct. So they have everything on their back and it's like that's all they're taking.
So I would if I packed my bag and gave it to them, I'd be a little nervous, but it would work. It'd be fine. My concern isn't so much about the handling. It's that sometimes they're just like, oh, I got to open this up and see what's in it. Because
and then it doesn't go back in the right way
when it's getting scanned in or whatever. If it gets flagged or something, they'll open it up and check, and then they supposedly repack it the same way, but it's like your shit's different. It's like,
no, trust me, every time I take
you are probably going to repack it in a different way, like when you at the hotel room.
Totally.
And especially for us, because there's stuff we have to get when we get there.
I think my concern wouldn't even be the handling. It's just what those things go through and the fabrics and the little buckles and everything on the outside. It's just normally going through
wear and tear.
You can have the most gentle person.
Right.
You can have a hard shell
white
case
gloving your pack.
Yeah.
It's still going to go through the ramps and the
conveyor belts.
Someone else is going to handle it.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's the issue.
Yeah.
Yep.
I couldn't help but think about it. I'm like, I'm going to put everything that goes in my backpack in my hard shell suitcase.
I'm already packing that. Like, if
what
I wasn't,
else am I taking?
I guess if I wasn't gonna do that, if I was just gonna have everything like Brian just had like in my pack, and I wasn't gonna take anything else with me, I would just do that then. But having to pack it anyway, so I'm just gonna put the bag in there with everything else.
There
And
you
it
go.
just
It makes sense.
It's not any different.
It's gonna
so-
be fine. But I
can get a smaller suitcase if I don't pack my bag entirely.
right.
in-
If
in
nobody,
the suitcase.
if nobody had said anything to me and you hadn't said that, I probably would have showed up. Like just
With your bag
just
on
with
and
my
ready to
pack
go.
and ready to
Just like,
like,
here you guys.
Let's go. He's got trekking poles hanging off the bag. He's got his Crocs hanging out.
Oh man, I might just
this'll
straight, I'll
pass,
probably
right?
wear my Crocs. I'll probably
Dude.
wear shoes though. Actually,
I don't think
I
I've
don't
ever
know.
wore Crocs in an airport.
I was
know,
gonna
but I
say,
kinda
dude,
want
that
to
is
now.
I'm gonna look like a hiker. I'm
Yeah.
not wearing any extra like. I mean, I wear jogger pants.
Oh,
like,
yeah,
I'm gonna
no.
look. It's
Yeah.
I'm gonna be flying in
I don't
comfort,
know, man.
baby.
I feel
I
like it's
always
a step
do.
away, like from pajama pants in the airport.
dude,
Joggers?
comfort.
Oh, dude, I never ever wear jeans or anything like
No,
that.
no, no.
in
I'm
the
talking
airport anymore.
Crocs.
Oh, Crocs. Yeah.
Like I need a little bit.
you know
it's a
what?
fashion
Hey,
statement
I need a
now.
little bit more over my feet.
But
Yeah.
you know what? Why don't we lean into it this time? And just,
Pajama
just go for
pants,
it.
Crocs with no
Yeah.
socks.
I'll
There you
join
go.
you.
Just barefoot Crocs.
I have thought about not bringing the Crocs
What? Why?
because I got something for
gear.
I did a float the river.
New gear
I
alert.
did, I did float. Yeah, I did
Money
float,
spent.
I did float the
Pew, pew,
river.
pew.
And they don't want you to wear like loose sandals that you can't like strap on.
Yeah, that's fair.
You just
And
wear
so
sport mode.
I didn't
Sport
have
mode, dude.
anything, and I didn't want to. I just didn't want to wear the Crocs. So I also have REI gift card with a lot of money on it right now, and so I got some of those zeros, those sandals.
Oh, that's right. You were telling us about this.
Those are really nice, really nice.
So explain to me what this is.
It's
I
just
belie-
a
I
sandal.
believe
It's a
you.
very flat sandal. There's no support in it. It's just a zero. It's
Is it like a Teva?
kind of, but it's not as thick. And I actually tried on one of those, and I like it. I like the zero
what's
better.
what's the strap situation like?
It's just there's a strap.
Biblical?
There's a strap. Yeah, yeah. I call them my Jesus sandals.
Are they thongs?
Yeah. Uh-huh. Yep. That's exactly what it is, dude. Yeah. They're really comfy, man.
Just
I
in
don't
time
know.
for Gladiator 2?
I've been back and forth about bringing those versus these. They just pack down way nicer.
All right,
So
Maximus.
I don't know. We'll see. for real, Gladiator style.
I'm quite confident at
I don't know.
5 o'clock in the morning, rocking my Crocs.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I'll probably take a pair of trail shoes just because I can't.
Durable
Yeah.
enough to,
Comfort.
get around a little bit of, sketchy territory or move around the camp, but light enough and
I don't know.
comfortable enough to relax in.
They'll still probably come, but there's an option.
I would be upset if they didn't.
There's an option.
I'll be honest.
It is
Upset
funny.
at me?
It is funny
Yes.
thinking about.
I'd be disappointed at you. I'd be like a disappointed
We've
father.
spent a lot of time talking about them. I would be disappointed
I
too.
have not worn my Crocs in probably what month is it? We're in August.
What year is it?
Probably 9 months.
You haven't worn them at all?
No.
Are we technically in August yet? No, we're still in July.
No, we're still in July.
Oh, I guess
It is July 31st.
In about an hour and
In
10
an
minutes.
hour and 10 minutes, we'll be in August.
No, but yeah, I haven't worn my Crocs in ages because I
Yeah.
have. I bought a pair of. I can't believe I can't remember the name of them right now, but the UFOs. And I've been rocking the UFOs. They're like the active recovery slides.
Oh, you told us about those before. Yeah.
UFOs. Yeah, they're
don't
like they have like a little bit of like arch support inside of them that have like good pressure. They're just soft and comfortable.
Yeah.
That's what I slip on now. And my Crocs were kind of like, they're
Limping
slippery
by.
on the bottom. Yeah,
Yeah.
they're pretty rough.
Mine are getting there. They're pretty.
These are my second pair.
Yours are
Yours are
in
good.
good shape.
Yeah,
These are
yours
my
are
third
fine.
pair.
Brian's here. Those are
mine
fresh.
mine are
right?
not.
These are
rough.
fresher.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
I have
you're on the bleeding edge
Yeah.
of needing to replace.
Yeah, you are.
You're teetering on the brink.
Yeah.
On the break. Yeah. But hey, I won't. Getting a new pair of Crocs, I'll never complain about that.
But I would definitely always bring my Crocs on the trail. I'm not
Yeah.
saying that I'm retiring my Crocs. I just haven't worn
You
them.
haven't
'cause I
worn them in a
haven't
while.
worn
Yeah,
them.
sure.
yes.
So that's soft
Makes
and
sense.
comfy.
Thank you.
Thanks for clarifying.
Well, I wanted to.
Thank
you
you
know,
we have
for
a-
reestablishing
we have a-
your commitment.
even though I'm not coming, I
You're
can
not a-
still
yeah.
say I would bring my
You're
Crocs.
not a traitor like this
I
guy.
didn't say I wasn't gonna bring them. I
You're
just said
thinking
there's
said
an
you were
option.
thinking
Well,
about
now that
There's
he's
an
gotten this
option.
much shit, he's definitely bringing them.
I might
yeah.
have
Is the
to
camera
now.
recording?
oh.
Yes. it is.
I just
Jesus.
checked. I just checked the temperature, and it is hot in here. So
hell,
I was bringing the Crocs.
I did my lighter pack for this trip, and my camera gear is fucking heavy as shit. So it would save me like a few ounces. which would be great.
Thank God.
It's a weight problem. Yeah,
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay.
The Crocs are a
Let's
weight
sacrifice the comfort because we're going to be
no
at camp
one
for a long
ever-
time.
I will say
Those
the comfort.
motherfuckers float in the
The
river.
comfort of those zeros are awesome. I was shocked when I put them on my feet.
I
They're
gotta look
very
these things
comfy.
up real
I
quick.
They're
believe
very
you.
I've
comfy.
seen a lot of the zero stuff, and it's cool.
I
Yeah.
know
Yeah.
what they are. Yeah, and I'm cool.
It's
with
spelled
it.
like XERO,
XERO,
right? Okay, I
yeah.
think I've seen those around.
Yeah.
Zero.
Oh boy,
The treasure
It's going
chest is
in.
being opened.
You're lighting my pants on fire right now.
Yeah, you and that
Yes,
not
yes,
croc
I
attitude.
am. Listen, I didn't say I was.
Are you sure
going
Zero
to.
is not online accounting software for your business?
That's
It
what my
might be.
company uses.
It might be.
Yeah, it's
funny.
Believe it or not, Blue.
Oh, I know Zero because
Yeah.
they're the barefoot brand. They're
Yeah.
a barefoot brand.
Yeah, they've been around.
Yeah.
I mean, they're
Yeah, they do other stuff other
they're
than
well
sandals
known.
and everything like
Well,
that.
I think the sandals are a side of what they do because the main stuff is like their
the sandals
barefoot
are
shoe stuff,
the sandals
yeah.
are newer. I think maybe
I
within
think
the last few
Greg
years.
wears them.
uses
Yeah,
zeros.
Greg's worn them
Yeah.
before.
Yeah.
They came out. I know exactly.
I think he
yeah,
still
they are,
does.
They're very
think so.
much the thong sort of gladiator style. It's but
yeah.
they came out with those.
There's no
Thong.
thong to it. There's no thong in it though.
bro.
Isn't that what the? I mean, it comes to does it do the between your toe thing?
No, there's no between the. I think they make a version of that. I didn't do those ones.
Oh, okay.
It is too minimal for how much they cost. I gotta be
Oh,
honest.
yeah.
Holy God.
It's,
They're like
um,
$80.
yeah.
Yeah, for like a
A flat
piece of cork.
yeah, I think it's- sorry. No.
For a sleeping pad with some nylon.
yeah.
I will say though, because like if you what is it, the Teva? How do you pronounce
Teva.
it? Teva. They're
Yeah.
like $50.
Yeah.
And those compared to the zeros are way more comfortable. By far more comfortable.
It doesn't look like much. I guess that's
it's
why
not,
they name
it's not.
Zero.
Name it
Hey,
zero.
we
It's not.
figured it out, boys.
and not 100.
Yeah. Yeah.
We figured out the name.
Oh God! What are we talking about? How do we
We're
get
talking
here?
about-
All right.
We were talking about
Gear,
prep and stuff
getting
like
ready
that
for
for
the
the plane
airplane.
and everything
Flights.
and
So
package
so
and
let's-
stuff
so
like
let's-
that.
We figured the flights out.
What
We
are the
know.
things, just for our listeners, right? When we talk about the things that need to go in a checked bag. So,
Yeah.
what are some of those things, right? We're talking saws. Not, I
Saws.
mean, obviously, but
Hatchets.
But again,
Hatchet,
worth
yeah.
saying. Yeah, hatchet.
Which actually,
knives.
are
Knives.
we? Did we talk about? Are we bringing a? We're not bringing a hatchet.
No, we have no reason
No
to bring a
reason
hatchet
to
or
do
saw
a
fire.
fire.
in case
We're
of
not
Why
fires.
would you bring any of
Yeah,
that?
We're not bringing any of that. Which is a
Yeah.
bummer. But
Yeah,
that
that's
is
a,
kind
that's
of
a
a bummer,
major bummer.
because what we do get to do here, and Alex, you kind of mentioned it a little bit. We get to be at camp
For a long time.
a long time,
A long time.
At least on one of the days, because we're only doing like 3 or 4 miles
well,
on
so
day 2.
all right, let's break that down then, because that's super exciting. I'm like,
and that will
super
color a
pumped
little bit
about
of
that part.
So,
Yeah.
Right.
so from just quickly, just to touch anything else that we need to pack in our checked bag that we're not thinking about.
Well, I think the way I'm approaching it is everything.
I'm just putting everything in my check bag.
Like even if
pretty
you don't
much.
have to,
I agree.
like, it's
I
it's
agree
everything.
entirely. That's what
I
I'm
mean,
doing,
so
but
I think in terms of stuff you typically bring on a backpacking trip, the stuff that would have to get checked. I mean, you can't. It's more stuff you can't bring at all, which is the canisters and weed eat bear spray and stuff like that. So I mean,
One thing that you might not think
Lighters,
about it
those
would be
kinds of
considered
things.
like a weapon that you couldn't bring. A lighter, yeah, for sure. That maybe would be considered a weapon that you couldn't bring on the plane with you are tent stakes. I bet you they would
Really?
consider, dude. It's a very
I
sharp
would
object. man.
definitely agree.
I
You could
bet
not
you
do
they
that.
wouldn't
also
allow
like
you to
our
do
fire
that.
starter stuff.
the other
Fire starter. Well,
the
we're
other
not bringing
thing
that anyway.
I know.
But yeah.
Well, yeah. Gosh,
so I
that's
started
coming.
looking.
I should probably pack.
I have done
We're a week
zero
away, dude.
packing either.
It is
so.
Wednesday right now. Today,
I'm
we
here
will
to
be,
figure it out like in real time.
At
Oh
this
yeah, I don't need
point-
to bring that anymore. Yeah.
At this point, we will be at the trailhead right now in
Next
a week.
week.
That's insane.
Oh God.
Yeah,
That's insane.
You need to get going, dude.
yeah, I'll be all
Figure it out.
I'm in the same. I'm in the same camp as you.
Figure it
pal.
out.
right.
Also, I'm not super stressed about it. I'm not really changing anything to my
Exactly.
kit.
That's the
Yeah.
thing. I'm gonna.
I just
I'm gonna
gotta
pack
assemble it.
I'm gonna pack it exactly the same way, and as I'm doing, I'm gonna say, "Oh, don't need that."
Well,
Yeah.
you're bringing
You know.
something new.
A tent.
You're bringing a tent.
Yeah, but I've
Yeah.
I've already
You've
taken
u-
that on the
you've
trail.
used it, but yeah.
I like that tent.
Yeah. What'd you
So,
get to just remind everybody because maybe they don't know?
Nemo Hornet.
Yeah.
The 2-person.
Yep.
Yeah,
So-
I tried to. I if the one person was available, I was 100% gonna get it. And it
They
it
have been
isn't.
in and out of stock. It's
I
a
know.
very popular tent.
I know. So the Hornet one person was. I've been eyeing that, and did have an opportunity probably a couple months ago to get it, and I didn't. and now I want to, and they don't have it.
I don't know, man. You should have
frustrating.
just gone with a 2-person, honestly.
Yeah, I guess I could. Actually, that one's available, I think, right now.
You could have got it on their website. It wasn't available at REI.
one person
but
is on the website.
It was available on their website.
But it would probably take a couple weeks to get to me.
Yeah, but
Maybe.
the 2-person tent isn't
they're
one person laying like this, one person laying like this. It's like this and this. So
yeah, it's like
he needs
it's
more
like a
length,
bunk
not
bed.
width.
Well,
Yeah. The man is long, not wide.
The length is fine. I will say, I've
That would
never
be an
run
interesting
into
tent.
he could
any
go
tent
this way with it.
Any tent I've looked at, length has not been an issue. They
Yeah.
always, the minimum is kind of like 78 or whatever inches or something. Like it's always either just my height or like a few inches
Your
longer.
head's a little bit out of the fabric here. Your foot's
But,
a little bit out of the fabric
where
here.
that becomes important is the height of how drastic that at the
pitch.
edge, how it pitches up.
Yeah, you're right.
Because like if it's really shallow, then at your head where the tent sort of starts going vertical, if it's too much of an angle, then my forehead's rubbing up against the fabric because like I'm tucked into
don't
the
love
cord.
that.
Whereas
No way.
like that's why I love the one I have now, and I think the Hornet would be fine for this. Is it goes
Yeah,
up a little
it's
bit
like
and then over.
orbish.
Yeah.
So the more the I have to worry about that.
Yeah.
But it's not. I'm not going to find a tent out there that's like I'm going to be curled up in a ball because it's not long enough.
Yeah, right.
It's-
You would
it's-
love my $50 Coleman 6-person family tent because it is like boop.
Oh,
It's
dude,
like
yeah.
straight
It's like a
up,
square.
dude.
Carry case.
Awesome.
Yeah.
It's like cube.
Those are great.
But the Hornet, it's nice. When
I've used it on one trip, and I'm excited to use it again. I think
I'm excited to use it too.
it will be.
it'll be. Fun. I mean,
nice.
you've used it as a 2-person.
Yeah. Yeah.
But not with Brian yet.
It's,
But
I mean, it's a
it'll be
snuggly
tight.
too, but it'll
Yeah.
be good. It'll be
Yeah.
good. It'll fit us comfortably, and it's
We'll
not
cuddle.
heavy. So
We'll cuddle.
You know, it fits two tensors. You've tested
Yep.
that. So,
I've had
yeah.
2 tensors.
There
in
it is.
So
That's all. You
Yeah,
need.
it'll be good. It'll be
Yeah.
great. So.
So
kit, like my kit's the same.
Mine's
I
the same.
mean, I'm bringing my film camera. That's the only thing that's like outside of the ordinary as far as
One thing we haven't talked about is
There's a lot you haven't
you
talked
could
about.
no bear bags. So in terms of packing,
Yeah,
'cause we haven't
true,
gotten to the trail
true.
yet. Canisters.
You have to
We
have
have to do canisters. Well,
You don't have
we don't
to.
have
It's
to.
not-
We're
not
going
allowed
to.
trees.
We're going to because we're
There's
outside
no
the tree
trees.
line for a lot of it. I will say this though, really quick, because we were talking about the 1-person.
Yes.
You can do the 1-person, and you can get it in time
Why?
if you wanted to
Why?
right this
Why?
second
Why you
from
telling me
Nemo's website. Okay, if you don't,
Man,
if
he's
you don't
twisting
do,
a knife right
if
now.
you don't do the ground
Buy
shipping,
the
which is
gear.
free, ground shipping is free. You could do
Rocky
it.
over here.
You could
Buy
do-
it live. Buy it live.
Buy it now.
And for people that have watched me go like this over here, I have my iPad, and I didn't want to actually go through with the purchase because I had to do an Apple Pay to see what the shipping would be. So I didn't want it to actually take my my Face ID. But if you don't
You could always Venmo you. You'd be fine.
if you don't do the free shipping,
That's how you get it done.
you can do a 3-day for $32. You could do a 2-day for $42. Or if you want it next day, you could do it for $60 and get it next
you know who
day.
you're talking to, right?
Yeah, there's no way.
I just want you to know that
Pay
there's no
extra.
excuse.
This man will risk it and use what he has already
There is
rather
no
than spend
excuse.
extra.
Extra for shipping.
There's
This
no
guy
excuse.
finally got a phone case because
I
it was
know,
$3.
I know, right? There's no excuse to not have it, and I don't want you to complain
No,
that
there's
you're
32
like, damn, I
excuses.
wish I would have had it.
There's 32 excuses for the 3-day, and
Oh,
like
God.
64 excuses for the.
I'll
yeah.
give you $32 if you really want it, you cheapskate.
No way.
I mean, you also said you give him $50 to eat wiener water.
And I did.
He-
From,
oh, he
from
did.
the
I
Vienna
just-
sausage.
I just
did.
paid.
You
I
paid
paid
that money.
Hold on.
Oh yeah,
I paid
he
you.
paid me.
That's
Yeah.
your shipping right there.
What
Yeah.
about this? What about this? How about
It's
this?
not fungible.
Oh,
Hold on.
come on, Jesus Christ! This guy.
I will pay for 2-day shipping if you raw dog the flight
No,
to and back.
God.
How long is the flight?
Well, so
Which
we're flying.
flight?
We're flying from here
To California, to LA?
LAX.
Are you out of your mind?
LAX
no, of course
to
not.
Wyoming.
Oh
am
my
not-
God!
I
I'll
am
not
pay
raw.
for 1-day shipping. You raw dog. If you don't know what raw dogging
how
a
do
flight
we
is,
sweeten the
hold on.
pot?
Oh God.
Everybody might, all the listeners and viewers might not know what raw dogging
And they're
a
like,
flight
why
is.
are you
Half the-
saying
what are you
raw
saying?
dog?
Half the
Yeah.
listeners
Like,
are
it's-
covering their kids' ears right
Yeah,
now.
I know, right?
Yeah, their kids listen to this.
It's not
fucking thing.
sexual
So
to this fucking thing. Like kids listen to this fucking thing.
So raw dogging
Wow.
a flight is like this phenomenon online where dudes will just sit on long ass flights with no music,
I'm bothered
no
by it.
media, nothing, but they'll just sit there and stare at the flight path on the screen.
So
Just
here's the
watch.
question I have,
Yuck.
and I need this clarity.
Yuck. You can't sleep.
You can't sleep. Okay.
No.
Okay.
Yeah,
You have
no,
to
no,
be
It's
no.
awake.
not new.
say,
It's a
'cause-
Seinfeld bit. I mean, you've seen that, right?
It is putty.
Yeah.
Putty.
Yeah.
Is it?
You're not going to read it.
But I honestly like whenever I've been on flights and I see like, especially if it's like longer than 2 or 3 hours, and I see somebody who's like looking for the air, what's the thing?
The flight tracker.
Sky Mall.
Sky Mall.
Yeah,
and
the
just
Sky
like,
Mall magazine.
They're like, dude, I'm like, did you
Prep.
Forget
no.
you were
prep?
flying?
Right. Did you know that you were going in the air for multiple
It's
hours
crazy.
today?
Right.
Like, prepare yourself. I've like, it's shit downloaded. Like, I got
Yeah.
playlists. Like, I'm ready. Everything's charged.
Yep.
I
Like,
will say
what?
I have at times
Raw dogged.
raw dogged temporarily to kind of take a break, and like it's been where
Understood.
you know,
yeah,
it's
well,
maybe,
sure, but
maybe
like
for
a
10
4-hour flight, man. What are you, a psychopath?
No,
yeah.
dude.
Right,
This
and-
episode's gonna be called Raw Dogging Out West.
All right, here's a question. Here's a question.
I'm about to raw dog the rest of this episode. guys.
Oh my God.
I have a question. I don't know what the rules are. I don't know what the rules are for raw dog in a flight. Does Alex just lose his mind?
You have to stop saying raw dogging.
I'm gonna start having to
Does-
bleep it out.
Does like looking out the window? Does
No,
that-
you have to look
I
straight.
think you have to like
I
you
mean-
just sit there and you watch the flight log.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think you're
watching
seeing
the
the
little
flight map.
to
plane.
it though.
The
Like,
flight map.
I mean, you're obviously you can look around. I think that
Okay, because
constitutes
I'll
as it
take
too.
time to just be like with in my own head and just walk out the
Congratulations,
window
you
or
in your
whatever.
tent.
And that, but I'm not going to do that for 5 hours.
I don't know. You can get a new. You can get a ship.
That's a book, dude. Like I can read a book.
but
Or
that
get a
book,
tent in a
That's
day.
a $60 book.
Man, I don't know.
No, dude.
You've got a decision to make here,
my
buddy.
My links is just fine.
Just
it's
fine.
not
All right.
worth 5 hours of my life.
We're
staring
more
at a
than halfway
screen
done with this
at a-
episode. We have so much more to cover. Let's
Sorry.
move
We
on.
haven't even gotten into anything.
Sorry, no, enough about this raw dogging.
Wow. Wow. Okay, so where do we go from there? I guess.
landed.
Let's talk about
You've
let's
landed.
talk
We've
about the
landed.
trail.
Yeah,
We've landed.
So we've landed.
We've
Let's talk
landed.
about the logistics of what our plan is.
we had
to
to rent
even
a,
get to the trail.
We had to rent a car.
Yes, we've landed. We're gonna get in a car.
We're going to rent a vehicle, Enterprise. They're not going to pick us up, but we're using Enterprise.
We are going to use a vehicle from
Hashtag Enterprise
Yes.
sponsor us. Hashtag United Airlines sponsor us.
It's a Austin, you'll be proud. It's a minivan.
It is a minivan.
Ooh,
Yeah.
nice.
Swagger wagon.
Swagger wagon.
And it's, I mean, that process is not
Very
interesting.
easy.
It's
Yeah.
get in the
Easy.
car,
Just
drive to
go.
the trailhead. The only interesting part is going to REI
Stop
to
at
get,
REI to get
bear spray,
bear
and gas
spray
canisters.
and gas canisters.
Which,
and then
if
go
we
down.
if we wanted just as a hack, I guess not really a hack, but we could order it ahead to that location days before, so that
Right.
when we
Yeah.
arrive, it's already ready.
And then we'll drive by, and as we
It's
drive by,
nice.
they'll just
I mean, I
hurl
throw
it at
it.
the van.
But let's face it, we're gear hounds. We're gonna want to go in there.
Of course, you'll want to go in there, but the bear canister thing might be smart because how many do you think they have? And you want to make sure that you have them there. What if they're out of stock?
I think, and you were talking about
Walmart
this.
might have
They're everywhere.
The
Yeah.
bear spray will be available.
Gotcha.
It'll be
Not just
available.
REI. I guess- yeah,
REI. I think for us, we just knew as a national retailer, we were like and that's
It
generally
is-
where we
it
shop.
is also-
it was on our way.
on our way where we don't even have to get off the route.
It's like,
It's
boom,
right
you run
there.
and drive
So-
right by it.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
so that'll
it's
be easy.
convenient for sure.
Right.
Yeah.
And everybody's getting their own bear.
That's
Spray?
we
I don't
kind of
know.
in gray
We've been-
area.
I've been up in the
We've been
air.
back and
like,
forth.
We have never seen a bear. We rarely see wildlife.
But you're
Maybe
going
5
out
of
west.
us.
This is
I've
new.
never.
It's new.
I don't.
I'm still in the camp of
It's like $70 to get the bear spray can with like
It's
the
one day
holster
shipping.
and shit. What's that?
It's one day shipping to get
yeah,
to get
exactly.
a bear can.
Yeah, right.
and I mean, well,
It's
that's like
about $50 a
that's
can.
like with
But
the
it's
with the
$50
holster
a can,
and
but
stuff.
it's not with the holster. You have
You
to buy
don't
the
need the
holster.
holster.
separately.
You don't need the holster.
Where are you gonna put it?
Clip it to your shoulder strap.
Can you? I don't think you can. You?
You put whatever you want, dog.
You're telling
it
me
where
you
your
can't.
water bottles
you
are.
can't. You can't.
I guess.
You're
but then
telling me
like,
you
you're gonna
can't.
have
I
to
know
take
where
your-
you can put
You're
it.
gonna have to take your pack off and then like spray the
Bruh,
bear.
bend
It's supposed
over.
to be right there and
hey,
go.
if someone's walking in front of you, like I'm just saying, man.
I might not buy one.
He wants all the gimmicks, man.
You don't need that.
Figure out a way.
I've never seen anyone carry bear spray just in their pack.
I've also seen people carabiner it to their.
Yeah, I guess you could do that.
You have paracord. You have a carabiner. You have
running around and stuff.
People hook it to their belt loop. If you have,
I'm sure there's a croc accessory you could like clip it on.
It probably is there.
Little spray nozzles. That would be something else, man. Yeah, come at me, Bear. What's happening?
Man.
Let's dance.
I don't know.
I'm still in the camp of we're out there, get one.
I don't disagree. I will say the things that I've read, grizzly bears are not native to the Wind River Range. They are coming down. They're migrating down and starting to make their way into.
Yeah.
So they are. It will be if we see one, it's incredibly rare.
That's because everybody in the Teton was spraying them with bear spray.
Yeah.
Like we're going south. We're going south.
And I will say, and just for my own sanity, I mean, having seen I've seen grizzly bears on the trail with Allison. Having seen black bears close at campgrounds, I'm not really scared of black bears. There's 5 of us. We're gonna be. They are gonna be so scared.
Exactly.
And everything that I'm reading, like, and the YouTube stuff that I'm watching, I think the last thing I watched, there was some like statistic of if your group is 3 people or more, the likelihood of you ever seeing it, we are going to make so much noise.
And here's
just walking.
And I know regardless of what you guys do, I know I'm getting one because I'm the only one in the single tent. So if we're gonna get with, I'm imagining it being like I'm asleep.
Having one per tent at least is a very reasonable.
And
that's a good point.
And
it means we have to get 3.
That's when I'm at my most vulnerable. That's when we're not walking around together, talking, making noise and stuff. If it's gonna happen,
and your tent's yellow, right? It looks like a fresh banana.
Pot? Yeah,
it's actually a big old pot of honey. Like that. It's just a big Winnie the Pooh. Yeah. No. So I know I'm getting one, but
we're gonna be okay. I think that's fair.
But yeah, I mean, and I know when the first time we talked about it, it's like, well, hey, it's not like when we're in a group, if we had 1 or 2, that's fine. But what if, if you need to go take a piss or you need to go take a shit or whatever, it's like you always want to have one on you.
Always comes back to it.
But
and I agree. Listen, I agree. And I'm not like, I'm pretty convinced I'm going to carry one too.
What's the size? What are we talking?
They're,
probably like,
as big as the fart spray?
They're smaller than a smart bottle.
It's 8 ounces.
Yeah,
it's an 8 ounce.
That's not big.
It's an 8 ounce can. It's like the size of a water bottle, a regular water bottle.
Yeah, like that you'd like be flipping.
Yeah. It's
flip the bear.
The only
fairly, I don't know, man. I'm looking at a picture.
Right
it's fairly large.
Yeah. The downside,
I have them in the other room. I'll show them to you.
The downside is it's the cost, and I mean it. At that point, it's like
you can get a 2-pack.
You
can get a 2-pack with, they call it a value package that does come with the holster.
This guy is dying for the holster
for $96.95.
If you're not careful, we're gonna start calling you holster.
Where are you gonna clip this thing to? You're gonna clip it to the trigger.
He's gonna pull it out of the holster. And
you're gonna clip it to the trigger.
Yes, Brian. There's a safety lock on it, and it's not super easy to come off.
You know my answer to that? We'll figure it out.
I'm just saying.
Like that's it. There's so many options.
I'm telling you, man. Getting that hook off there, it's not cake.
We'll see. You guys can do it. I'm not.
All right, holster.
All right.
I'm not buying one.
He's definitely not getting one.
Also, he needs it at the ready because when bears hit, they're just in your face and they're eating your face in half a second.
They might be.
There's no warning. There's nothing. No lead up.
It's like a quiet place, You
don't know.
You go from walking pleasantly to bear in your face.
To make light of it and not to like be jokey about it. If I were out there by myself, I would
out there by yourself,
I would buy the holster. I would have it ready and available.
Yes.
Yeah, dude.
They have a belt that you can wear.
Ooh. I guess my point is there's like 5 of us. If there's at least 4 cans, if someone can grab one,
we're gonna be fine.
We're gonna be fine.
The other thing is you're not gonna use it, and then you're gonna have to throw it away because you can't fly with it.
We can always
donate it.
I think we can return it.
And if we can't return it,
you can maybe give it to somebody.
If we can't return it, I'll go back in and I'll say, you know what? Take this.
I don't think we're going to make it back to REI.
Give it to somebody or do something with it because I'm not going to throw it away.
We could also leave it at the trailhead.
I'm sure
it's like a trail box.
An REI employee would use it. You know what I mean?
Right.
REI is not going to be open by the time we get back.
I'm not worried about any of it.
I'm not either. And if it's a $50 investment for safety, It's a $50 investment for safety.
I bought my peace of mind in the tent at night when I'm sleeping. That's
Trust
worth
me,
$50.
I love that for you.
Having slept in a tent with and like having it there, it is peace of mind. It is nice.
It is.
Sure.
Yeah.
I agree.
And it's okay. I'll save you.
Please do.
I'll say.
So we've gotten all of our shit, and we're at the trailhead, right?
Yes.
What is the name of the trailhead that you're starting up?
Oh, the trailhead.
The trailhead.
The name of the
Do we know
trailhead?
that?
Yeah,
I think it's
is there?
Big Sandy.
Big Sandy.
That's right. Yeah.
So question. So just because we got like about 15 minutes or so left in the episode. So overall, on the trail. My big question was like, what's your water situation like?
Tons of water.
So
Is
much.
it often?
Yeah.
So
Tons
much.
of water.
Awesome.
We are going to hit so many lakes in like glacier
cool.
feed. And
to the point where I bring the Catadine and then 2 smart water bottles.
Yeah.
I may just do Catadine in one.
Same.
Really?
Yeah.
It's like, I mean, that's
much.
2 liters.
We're around a bunch of runoffs and rivers and stuff
Yeah.
like that too as you're passing as well. But yeah, I don't think we're gonna have any problems. Every single night we're
By
gonna be
water.
at a spot with water.
Beautiful.
Now you can't camp right on the water. You've got to be 200 feet or even further back from the lakes.
That makes sense.
Stuff that I've read. But for night 1, we plan on being at Shadow Lake.
Yeah.
Okay,
which is-
and there is like designated spots for dispersed camping.
Correct.
Cool.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. There should be plenty of camps and stuff like that around those areas. But that trek that we do, which was technically be on day 2, since we're going to camp at the trailhead, they have a campground there. It's like was it $7? I think.
I think
Per
it was-
person.
yeah.
$7 per person to camp there.
At Sandy?
It is first come, first serve. So there's
Yeah.
a potential that you don't get a spot. They have a cabin that's a little bit further down, but it is very expensive.
Really?
Like it's like
Insane.
$200 or something
Per person,
a
per
night.
night.
And then if you have one more, every other person you have stay with it, it's $80 per person extra. It's
yeah.
f***ing insane.
But
when we
were
already have our
talking about
camping
this,
stuff, and we're
Yeah,
already
we're
outside.
going to just camp.
and another thing we were talking about is that like everywhere around this is just surrounded by BLM land.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's like
If we don't get a spot there, we can go somewhere
just
else.
go
just,
somewhere
right,
else.
just find a spot
Yeah.
somewhere that's in the BLM region.
one.
And
Yeah.
it's like
You
just
can
pop
just
tent and
go.
go. Yeah.
Yeah.
What is BLM land?
Bureau of Land Management.
Thank you guys. Yeah, just for people that might not know.
Yeah. So that's, I mean, it's basically
It's government land,
Right.
and
you can
there's-
disperse camp. You
yeah,
can do
no restrictions on
whatever you want.
There's obviously no accommodations, so you're
Dope,
not going to have a
dope,
campground
dope.
bathroom. But
So
Right.
the first actual trail day, we're doing almost 11 miles. It's like 10.8 miles.
Nice.
But we'll be able to start pretty early if we want to,
Yeah.
and get there to Shadow Lake.
Elevation for this trip, similar, crazier,
So-
less.
3,500.
Yeah. The
than what we've done in
the
the past.
gain is
3,800.
3,800. But yeah, so we're starting high. But once we're high, we're not doing much of this.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Not a ton of this. There's a couple sections. The
You're
first,
driving up to
yeah,
Yeah.
elevation.
we will the first actual night on the trail. We'll start at 9,000 feet and we'll go to 10,366 feet. So
Okay.
we are going
is
up, but it's
a gradual up,
It's not,
not
it's
much.
not terrible.
Over 11 miles. Though.
We really
So it's
only
like,
hit some elevation on the second day.
Yeah.
And we hit it almost immediately upon leaving camp for that second day. We're only going like 3.5 miles, but we really wanted to camp at Lonesome Lake, which is in the middle of the Cirque of Towers.
Gotcha.
So
Okay.
that's
we're going to
right.
see it all around.
That's
us.
right where you
Sweet.
have it's. You're like kind of engulfed in the Cirque of Towers at that
Yeah,
point.
gotcha. Okay, that's cool.
Incredible,
So
beautiful views.
we made-
huge lake.
Right. We may be there by like 11, 10,
Yeah,
and
so
spend
nice.
the whole
But then
day.
you get to spend the
Yeah.
day, and that's
Yeah.
special.
And
to-
that's the
to be
that's
Yeah.
the spot.
Chucking the aerobie,
Right.
kicking the hacky. I
That's-
mean, it's going to be nice.
That is the spot of the loop. It's like we're going to spend as much time. So pack on the miles on day one, and we debated over that for a while because
We're
we
even
could
kind
have
of packing the miles on day 3 too, coming out as well.
because we could have. I think our first rendition of this was actually us camping sooner on the first leg.
maybe talking about camping at
to make that second day more than 3.
Right. So it was evenly distributed, and we would do like 8 and 6 and 7.
Or we were
whatever,
thinking
but
about
then,
camping
you know.
at Dad's Lake too.
Yeah, that
So
one.
and those two are pretty close to each other. I think
Yeah.
they're about a mile and a half away
Gotcha.
from
But
each other.
then-
And I
That
think
would've-
philosophically, as a group, we were also like, we've not really done something like this.
Right.
So a 3-mile day where we're going to be surrounded by mountains. There's going to be a lake. We're just going to have time to really soak it in. And that, I think, for like, all of us will be really,
the original really nice. Setup, we would have passed through Cirque of Towers and seen it, but then we would have camped somewhere else.
We would have camped. We would have camped at Big Sandy Lake.
Right. So instead, it's like, let's just be there.
Everything is going to be a feast for our eyes, but having that spot and like...
That's going to be special.
We were talking a little bit, too, about, I mean, even just the opportunity for like stargazing, right?
Yeah,
we're going to be in the middle of nowhere,
out there,
right?
And
without tree coverage or anything like that, too, in those areas.
Yeah.
So we're
outstanding.
We basically, the last time we met, we like designed the entire trip and mileage and how we're going to do the circuit to be like, how much time can we spend at that spot?
Right.
So I'm so excited about that.
Yeah, that Lonesome Lake spot was like the key point.
Yeah,
like. Let's focus
and we're gonna
on
get
that.
We're going to get there so early. Like, let's pick of whatever we want. It's...
That was a thing, too. I mean, I've watched some videos. I've read some things about this specific loop. And it's first come, first serve, obviously, for these spots. There's no reservations or anything like that. And there are some areas that can fill up. And if there's not spots left, you can't camp. I've heard that they ranger this area and this loop pretty regularly. And they will tell you, listen, you can't be here. You need to leave, and you need to go somewhere else. They will make you pack up your stuff and go.
Wow!
And so,
getting there early
is going to be important. A key thing.
Yep, lock it down.
I don't think we'll have any issue. The first night we're getting to the trail pretty early,
right? And we still have the benefit of we're starting midweek
on a Thursday,
right? So we're not if anyone's coming out for the weekender type stuff, they're not going to be there yet. So,
Sure.
So I'm happy with the setup. But the third leg out was like 9 or something. So our last day out's going to be a little lengthy.
So we ended like around 14 miles for that second night. And then we've got to complete. So we're about 11 miles.
And I think I remember when we were talking to if for whatever reason on the first day we recognize that whatever that 10 miles is or 9 miles, if that beats our ass, we know day 2 we can shorten day 3.
We could shorten day 3 if we want.
Yeah,
could go further.
It'll be day 1 will determine if day 2 is really easy because we're like, okay, we feel good about the type of trail, the terrain, and like we'll get a taste at that point to know that we could also like split the miles across those last 2 days if we had to.
There is an ass kicker on that second day on the trail.
Yeah, what's
with
that?
Jackass Pass.
Yeah.
Where you have elevation grade of 60-70%.
Oh, damn.
Yeah,
it is steep AF, and it's pretty loose gravel.
Wow.
So
it's just basically like a pass right up along the lake.
Right between.
It's gonna be cool.
And that's where we hit our highest point. So that'll be a really cool view after we get to that area.
And then from there, everything is literally downhill. There's a little bit of a hitch up, and then
everything is going to be down from there. Yeah. Man, I'm looking forward to getting into the lake. It's going to be cold.
Yes.
But we're definitely plunging.
For sure. I had to get because I wanted something that was a little bit bigger than just like my little hand towel that I bought.
Gear person.
I got the REI. What is it? The REI towel. It's like the large. So that was something I snagged.
You can go Nomadics? What the heck, dude?
No, I just wanted an REI thing.
So
just an REI thing.
So, okay, this all sounds good. Give me an idea of what you're expecting as far as temperature during the day and at night. What's going to be?
Way cold. Way more temperate and even cold than I was expecting. I was thinking we're going to be hot, but we're
going to be in the low 60s during the day.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
We're going to be
That's from the elevation.
We're going to be in the 30s at night.
No way.
It's going to be like Manistee weather.
Not quite that cold.
That was 20.
That sounds about Manistee.
It took my idea of doing my quilt away.
Yeah.
I'm going to go to my bag for sure.
Yeah. It made me more confident.
For sure.
Made me more confident in me bringing the disco.
And that's
because I was worried it was going to be too
liner.
hot.
I wonder if I should bring mine.
Why wouldn't you?
You're what?
My 15 degree.
That's what I'm bringing.
Huh.
So and this is interesting. So I had a Tensor go out, and I need to send it in for them to repair it.
Yeah.
And I bought the next rated insulated one.
You got the extreme.
Yeah, the gray one.
Really?
Whoa.
I think I'm going to be happy that
purchase.
I've used it twice now.
Extreme sleeping pad.
I didn't notice it when I was hiking in the red and it was 95 degrees. But I imagine during the cold I will notice it.
Isn't it like a 9 point something R value? It is extremely up there.
I don't think it's quite that. But
why don't we look it up?
It's more than the normal one. Yeah.
Yeah,
but I will bring my liner. I intend on bringing my liner.
I think we're gonna be happy.
I might bring my 15. I didn't even think about bringing my 15 degree disco.
Why wouldn't you? I mean, I guess it's comfortable. That's like the temperature that it's most comfortable.
The weight, I guess.
All you need is
3 bags.
All you need, Brian, is that puffy that you took.
That would be extreme.
Austin would be in a hammock.
You want to make weight.
And if you don't take it, let Austin use it while we're out on the trail.
Yeah, dude, I need some good sleep.
I am planning on taking. Not my puffy isn't that to that level, but
I'm taking my puffy.
But unless it's going to be hot, like taking the puffy is just like.
Yeah, I'm not going to bring.
It's going to be nice. And I also the one bummer that I am, or the one thing that I think is a bummer is that about the no campfire thing is when we are done swimming in the lakes that are probably crazy ass cold. It would have been so nice to warm up by the campfire afterwards and roast some marshmallows and get all messy and sticky.
Marshmallow.
That part of no fire is a bummer.
Sucks.
But having the puffy to put back on and try to warm your body up a little bit more, that part is fantastic. So I'm looking up the extreme.
It's not that one.
This is the Nemo.
There's an in between one. I'm pretty sure.
No,
go to Nemo's website.
The website.
Go to the source.
Oh my goodness.
What are you on REI?
I was just an REI.
Oh, okay.
I'm so sorry. It's the gray one. Whatever the
that
gray
was
one
gray, bro.
No, that was blue.
Oh my
No,
god.
it wasn't.
Are we having this argument right now?
Gray versus blue.
Can't these
it's like
problems
light
be figured
gray.
out
Like
off camera?
Yeah.
It's gray.
It's like the white dress, blue dress
upper
thing?
left.
That's an all seasons. That's not the extreme conditions one.
That's
then.
the one I have then.
Okay, so you have just an all seasons one.
Just.
Yeah, it's a little more than the.
Yeah, but
the
is it
ones.
more than the yellow and orangish ones?
I'm checking it out.
I'm sure.
So your R value is 5.4.
Yeah, I think ours is like 4 or something.
It's not a ton different. It's
pretty similar.
So that's the all season ultralight tensor. The regular tensor, just the insulated version. The R value is
right 4 or something.
2.8.
Really?
No.
That
can't be right.
There's 2.
ultralight. Yeah, that's the insulated one.
The insulated one's only 2.
2.8 R value. I don't remember it being that.
Podcasting.
We need to look. I'm gonna go check that.
I would check that.
Convinced.
Yeah, because I don't think that's true.
I'm gonna be all snug as a bug in a rug.
Like way up there now.
That is the ultralight version of the tensor.
They're all ultralight versions of the tensor.
Oh,
I think it's just an ultralight pad.
Yeah. I think
we're just throwing the word ultralight around.
It's all ultralight. Everything's ultralight.
Common language.
The extreme is 8.5 R value.
Good lord.
Yeah.
I'm not like that.
Right. I'm not to that. But I mean,
just all season.
Regardless of the pad, I'm gonna be snuggled up in my disco. I'm gonna be happy.
I will say,
Plenty happy.
I think. I mean, last time I was backpacking, I was sleeping on top of my blanket. Like my bag, it was 90 degrees.
Yeah.
So
that's hot.
This will be there's something to me. It's nice getting in the sleeping bag, getting like warming up. Like that's the best way to sleep, in my opinion. But
we'll be just fine. But yeah, you asked about temperature, and it is exactly not what I was expecting. Like when I was thinking we're doing out west, I was expecting to be hot, and it's gonna be really
well, dude. This happened when it came to the whites last year. We were like August backpacking trip,
exactly.
And it was
cold.
Chilly.
It was so cold, wet and cold. So yeah,
it is crazy. I was looking back at that trip, and it was August.
Dang.
Yeah.
Dude.
Dang.
Yeah. So it's gonna be. I'm so excited.
Do you have options for post meal?
We haven't looked at that.
We haven't
really.
looked. Typically, it's the drive back.
Because you're staying. You have a hotel that
we do
night,
have a
right?
hotel last night.
Yeah, we're gonna be
Close to the
in
airport.
Jackson Hole, so there's gonna be a lot of options.
That place. I'm excited to see. That's something I haven't really thought about until now. It's like I'm just excited to see that area because so much,
even driving,
same.
right?
Yeah, and it's gonna be
so much of like this. I'm sure the community there is awesome, and there's like this activity in that area is just so prominent. I think it's been built up even more over the past, years and stuff. So Jackson Hole is kind of like, at least I've always heard of it, it's kind of a spot for
a destination.
So I'm excited just to see when we land and we're in there and we're like, oh man, because we're not going to be the only ones doing what we're doing.
Yeah,
right. So no, I have a feeling it's going to be fairly busy.
It's August. Kids aren't in school yet. Anybody who's doing weekend warrior stuff, it's a good time to go.
Actually, I hadn't thought about that either. On trail, I wonder how busy it's how many people we're going to see.
I'll bet we don't see a ton because I do think it's a little more of a challenging trail. Generally
it's rated hard on all trails, guys.
So I just watch out. But I don't think we're going to not see people. I'm confident we will see.
Yeah, for sure.
And I mean, I'm just confident we will.
Well, we'll be doing a podcast episode, video and audio on the trail.
Yep.
So make sure you look out for that.
With any luck, from that Lonesome Lake.
Yep.
Right? I mean, that
would be ideal. The ideal spot.
Yep. So we'll make sure we
get with the mountains in the background.
Oh,
I can see it now.
Oh, my.
Brian,
my goodness.
Brian, Pfeiffer and I will be wearing our Crocs, and you'll be rocking those Zeros, and
we'll see. Maybe I won't say anything. I'll surprise you. Just we'll get to camp that first night, and you just be like, oh, he brought the Crocs. Okay.
I don't like surprises.
Yeah.
I like surprises.
Austin, are you going to send us with any prizes on this one? Have you thought about that?
No prizes because I want you to enjoy the trip. So
I would have opened it up the night one. Put it back in the car.
For sure. You guys
are going to carry the pinata.
I would not
this
do
time.
that for something like this. No, absolutely no way. I don't know if I'm going to be able to see this on the trail episode because I'm going to raw dog the next month. So I might not be watching or listening.
I'm just going to raw dog life.
I'm just raw dog life
for 30 straight days.
Oh boy.
I wake up, I sit in my chair, I stare at the wall for that's it.
Oh man.
Well, we hope you guys like this episode. If you have any questions or anything, leave us a comment down below. Shoot us an email. Email is trailtheorypod@gmail.com. And don't forget to like and subscribe. Leave us that 5-star rating. It really helps us out, no matter what platform you're on. And we'll see you next time.
Raw dog!
The Trail Theory Podcast is sponsored by Audimute and Audio Technica. Music by Dan Koch.